The FDA has approved a life-saving drug that you can now get without a prescription. See why students need to see this story.
California cracks down on big oil with a new law aimed at lowering the price you pay for gas.
And a new segment dedicated to international headlines. Tonight, stories from Mexico and the Vatican.
Annenberg TV News is next.
The FDA approved over-the-counter sales of the most popular version of naloxone, a life-saving overdose reversing drug. Hi, I'm Rachel Hallett.
I'm Ethan Huang. Today's decision marks the first time an opioid treatment drug can be purchased without a prescription.
The approval of Narcan makes it the first opioid treatment to be sold without a prescription. But some worry this move may actually limit access to the overdose reversing drug rather than expand it.
It's not going to be covered by insurance. What's the price tag? Is it going to cost $50? And if so, who's going to have access to that? Who has the income to afford, right, paying for over-the-counter naloxone? It'll have a high price tag, and I worry it might worsen disparities in opioid overdoses.
Studies show that fentanyl deaths in LA County rose 1,280% within a 5-year period. The report also indicates that while hospitals are high, more deaths occur before the victim even makes it to the hospital. Overdose awareness organization Taco USC points to data like this to underscore the necessity of readily available Narcan. The team's distribution chair shared her thoughts.
It brings a new level of peace of mind that the government is actively doing something to help prevent those lives from getting taken from us. This is a step in the right direction. This legislation is a step in the right direction to get it more accessible to people, but it's not all the way there.
Mahalia added that the USC pharmacy offering over-the-counter Narcan would be another step in the right direction. USC Pharmacy has not yet commented if the drug will be available.
So Rachel, I know that you've been working on this story. How exactly is Narcan administered, and is there any kind of training that people can get?
Well, it's administered similar to like a nasal spray. It's just sprayed through your nose. And actually USC Taco offers training workshops, and if you go to their website or their Instagram page, you can learn about how you can get trained in Narcan administration.
It sounds great to have that access available for people. A vigil was held tonight in Nashville to mourn the deaths of the 6 victims murdered in the Covenant School mass shooting on Monday morning.
Say it will be alright, I shall believe.
The vigil included performances from Sheryl Crow, Margot Price, and Ketch Secker. The attendees included First Lady Jill Biden. Hundreds of people showed up to mourn the 3 children and 3 adults killed by the shooter, who was later shot down by police. The shooting reached the attention of Pope Francis, who offered his condolences and prayers to the affected. This is among 130 mass shootings this year in the U.S. Since the school shooting in Nashville, many are urging lawmakers to pass gun reform bills. A Michigan State University student traveled to Washington to share his concerns about the rise in mass shootings, including one at MSU last month.
As the news of Nashville on Monday showed, this is becoming more of a normalized part of life in the United States. And it's kids and students like me who are paying the price of the inaction of DC politicians who are, frankly, in my opinion, scamming us.
While some members of Congress say mental health is the biggest issue, some believe it is only one part of the problem. We spoke to an activist who says every country faces mental health crises, but gun violence is unique to the U.S.
The U.S. is the only country that has this problem of gun violence. And the reason is that we're the only country that has such a high number of firearms and makes it as easy to get them as possible.
There have been at least 130 mass shootings in the U.S. just in 2023. 16 of them, including Nashville, have been school shootings.
California Governor Gavin Newsom signed a new law yesterday that gives state regulators the power to penalize oil companies for price gouging, the first legislation of its kind in the U.S. Newsom called for reform after gas prices hit a record high in California last year. Many assume that once this law takes effect, it will reduce gas prices. However, USC business professor Sean Hyatt explains why that will probably not happen.
All this bill does is just demand them to report data to the California Energy Commission, who in a year from now will just decide, begin at least reporting whether there is some sort of price gouging going on. And if the California Energy Commission decides that they are price gouging, my guess is it'll probably go to court, but this won't happen for, I just have to say, at least 2 years.
State Republican lawmakers and the oil industry were upset with how fast the bill pushed through the assembly. They argued there was no time to vet the bill that now takes effect in 90 days. Reporter Jack Reed is live at a gas station near campus with more on what drivers have to say about the new law. Jack, what's going on over there?
Yes, Rachel, it's true. I'm right here at an ARCO just across the street from campus, where I got the opportunity to speak with some drivers about their feelings on the legislation signed by Newsom. You see, the governor has made some big promises about ending the operations of oil industries in the shadows. And I couldn't think of a better place to speak to drivers, but right here at the pump. Here's what we had to say.
I kind of like it. I wish it was done sooner when it was like $2.50 a gallon, but I mean, I think that's a good idea. I gotta drive when I gotta drive, but it'll just take me less of a way, you know? I just gotta kind of minimalize. So yeah, I guess it does affect me how far I'm willing to travel for something that I really need.
While this legislation may not have any immediate effect on gas prices, both California legislators and residents alike are hopeful it may save drivers money in the future. For Annenberg Media, I'm Jack Reed. Back over to you, Rachel.
President Carol Fultz spoke during the State of the University address with great optimism about the future of the university. But she didn't talk about the free shared Lyft program that's caused an uproar among students. During the pandemic, USC implemented Frift, adjusting their Lyft program to carry single riders. In the spring of this year, USC reinstated Shrift, which changes rides to be shared. We asked students their reaction to President Fultz not addressing the unpopular shared Lyft in her address.
It's like less efficient in like being to like getting like places. I know like a lot of people who have like waited like 30 minutes, like just like a long time for a shift, and it's just like it can be like unsafe at times, like at night, like when like you just like need a ride somewhere and it's dark, and then like I know like a lot of people like will just like resort to walking because it's like it's just quicker that way.
Not putting attention to what students want, they're putting attention for what they want.
In a statement from the USG presidents, they said they are committed to serving the student body in collaboration with the administration and will continue to advocate for a safer model of the Lyft program.
Welcome to a new ATVN segment, Around the World, where we focus on international news. Tonight we have stories from Mexico, the Vatican City, and Europe. 38 people are dead after a fire in Ciudad Juarez, a Mexican city near El Paso, Texas. The fire started at a government-run migrant detention center Monday night following deportation protests. Pope Francis is in the hospital after treatment for a respiratory infection. The 86-year-old complained about breathing difficulties and will spend the next few days in the hospital. Vatican officials have confirmed it is not COVID. For the first time since his ascension to king, England's King Charles III visited Germany. Along with his wife Camilla, they visited German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier in hopes of expanding Britain's relationship with Germany.
Ahead of Transgender Day of Visibility this Friday, USC is set to host several events.
There's a special election coming up in Los Angeles. Learn about the issues voters care about coming up.
Behind the Airwaves, we'll give you an inside look at USC's oldest student-run radio station.
Worried your friend's struggling but don't know how to reach out? You could say how are you or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could write them a text or knit them a sweater. If you can't be together, you could write them a letter. Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking. You could chat on the game, kick off your flip-flops. You could ask on your couch while you binge watch. However you do it, you gotta ask a friend. And if they don't share, you can ask again. Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
You may not know it, but there's a special election happening next week in one area of Los Angeles. Reporter Allie Anthony shows us what issues are important to people as they vote for a new LA City Council person.
LA's District 6 is in the central and eastern San Fernando Valley. It includes cities like Van Nuys, Sun Valley, and North Hollywood. Most people speak Spanish, most are non-white.
Van Nuys is a really diverse area and I think could absolutely benefit from more diverse voices in leadership.
Next Tuesday, voters here will choose a new city council member to fill the seat of Nuri Martinez, who resigned after a leaked recording surfaced of the councilwoman making racist and crude comments. 7 candidates have qualified for the ballot. 4 women and 3 men. These candidates are facing a number of issues in the San Fernando Valley. The top priority for locals seems to be homelessness and drug abuse.
I think some of the biggest issues in this area are probably homelessness.
The problem is that they're homeless. It's true.
Many of the problems associated with the environment are primarily due to the infestation of drugs and things that are occurring under the freeways.
I see a lot of tents, where a lot of offices or business are being, I guess they camp, basically in front of their businesses.
Other issues that a new district council member will address include a lack of green space, fumes from the Van Nuys airport, complaints about noise, and RVs parked on the streets. What's fascinating about this special election is the demographic of people running. All 7 candidates are people of color, and they are all under the age of 40. Locals seem optimistic about a new take on city politics.
I'm perfectly happy with less straight white males running our town. So excited to see who wins and what they can do for us.
And I believe, yes, we need new ideas. We need new people that can help with that. And I don't think the age is really a concern.
If no candidate gets more than 50% of the votes next Tuesday, the top 2 vote getters will compete in a runoff on June 27th. For Annenberg Media, I'm Allie Anthony.
International Transgender Day of Visibility is coming up. This Friday is dedicated to celebrating transgender people and their contributions while raising awareness about the discrimination they face. Events starting tomorrow night will happen and amid increasing concern as 44 states have proposed anti-trans bills this year. USC's Chief Health Officer, Sarah Van Orman, explains why it's so important for USC to recognize Trans Visibility Day.
Days like this are really important so that members of our community of trans can feel heard, can feel included, and like I said, and also as well as allies can learn more about how they can be better allies in this. So yeah, we just encourage everyone to take advantage of the opportunities to learn during this day.
USC will be hosting documentary screenings, Q&A panels, wellness art programs, and more to support the transgender community and to lead into April, which is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Well, Shelley, it looks like the rain has kind of surprised us today, but the sun is slowly coming back out. How's the rest of the week looking?
Thanks, Ethan.
All right, Los Angeles, just when we thought the sunny spring weather had finally arrived, the gloomy clouds and rain are back for more. I probably sound like a broken record at this point as the pattern just keeps going. Rare rainy weather that drops in exchange for some hotter days and then reappears. Here, you can see the cooler temperatures that we're feeling this evening. You can also expect a 50% chance of rain, which may start around 9:30 p.m. and continue into the rest of the night. That will lead into tomorrow's high humidity level predicted at around 72%. For the rest of this week, temperatures will start to rise. As you can see, Saturday and Sunday with highs of 67 and 66. Monday, some clouds will roll in once again, but no rain forecast just yet. Let's hope we can open up our umbrellas for the last time tomorrow before we protect ourselves with sunglasses and hats instead. Now to MJ for sports.
Thank you, Shelley. USC baseball is once again haunted by UC Irvine. The freshman phenom Austin Overin closes in on becoming USC's Mr. Triple. And with the women's Final Four around the corner, can South Carolina put a halt to Caitlin Clark's heroics? All that and more coming up next, right here on Sports.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good stir. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, read your lease. No pets allowed. My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
Welcome back to ATVN Sports. I'm MJ Newsom.
And I'm Kyla Drew. USC baseball lost 5-4 in a heartbreaking fashion to UC Irvine last night. Trailing for most of the game, the Trojans tied it in the top of the sixth before giving up the lead a half inning later. Down by 1 in the ninth inning, Kaikia Harrison scored on a wild pitch after advancing to third on a pass ball to tie the game. But in the bottom of the 10th, an error by right fielder Cole Gabrielson allowed the winning run to score for the Anteaters. Following the second loss to UCI this year, the Trojans head to Utah for a weekend series.
USC baseball's freshman phenom is one triple away from tying USC's single-season triple record. The Trojan center fielder, who can fly, also doubles as a wide receiver on the football field. The freshman currently has 9 triples to his name, and the USC record sits at 10. With more than half the season still left to be played, the national record is 17, which is also very much in reach. Even after an 0-for-5 last night against UC Irvine, Overin leads the team in batting average with .347 and also blasted his first homer of the season on Saturday night against Washington State. So we'll go from the diamond to the hardwood. While there are 3 newcomers to the men's Final Four, 3 of this year's women teams are no stranger to the big stage. This Friday, top-seeded South Carolina takes on the 2-seeded Iowa Hawkeyes. On the other side, 1-seed Virginia Tech Hokies square off against Kim Mulkey's Bayou Bengals from LSU. Gamecocks coach Dawn Staley had high praise for the Iowa guard Caitlin Clark.
Like Caitlin Clark, we all know is the one that people feel like is the National Player of the Year, and it's narratives that have been created for her, and she deserves it. Honestly, she deserves it.
So let's start with some predictions. We'll start with what Dawn Staley was just talking about, the Naismith Player of the Year, Caitlin Clark. She scores 27 points a game. She'll take on the dominant 36-0 South Carolina Gamecocks. In order for David to take down Goliath, I think Caitlin Clark has to score upwards of 45 points. Unfortunately, I don't think she gets it done. Goliath gets the dub this time instead of David. On the other side, we'll talk about LSU and Virginia Tech. The Hokies have been great all season long. Elizabeth Kitley down low will have a great matchup with Angel Reese. I think Kim Mulkey's bunch from LSU was underrated coming into the tournament. Only 2 losses on the year, both to South Carolina. They'll meet for a 3rd time in the national championship. As much as I love the job that Kim Mulkey has done at LSU and how she coaches in March, it's hard to pick against the dominance of South Carolina this season as of last year. South Carolina beats LSU for the 3rd straight time. They win back-to-back national championships.
As March comes to an end, the Los Angeles Lakers and Clippers both strive to clinch their playoff spot. The top 3 seeds are nearly locked up by the Denver Nuggets, Memphis Grizzlies, and Sacramento Kings. The Clippers are currently ranked 5th, while the Lakers are on the edge in 9th place. The teams face off one more time next Wednesday with massive playoff implications. The Purple and Gold take on the Minnesota Timberwolves on Friday, while the Clippers face the New Orleans Pelicans on Saturday. It's a showdown that can determine the final playoff picture in the Western Conference. Only the top 8 teams in each conference make it to the playoffs. MJ, do you think both the Lakers and Clippers have what it takes to overcome the adversity against them and make it to the playoffs?
Whew, that's a good question, Kyla Drew. Right now, I would say no. I think the Clippers have the upper hand on the Lakers. And like you said, the Western Conference is tight. It's been back and forth all season long. The Lakers, to me, have just been too injured all season long. And I think when it comes down to it, they haven't gelled well enough to get it done. If they make the play-in tournament, I don't really see them getting that 8th spot. For the Clippers, I think they've been better this year. I think Norman Powell has been playing great as of late. The addition of Russell Westbrook has that 3-headed monster with Westbrook, George, and Leonard. I think with Norman Powell the way he's played, Zubac down low, I think the Clippers will get a playoff spot.
Gotcha. Well, look, you have the Warriors, Pelicans, Oklahoma City Thunder, and even the Mavs are all really close in trying to get this playoff spot. So we'll see. If I have to go with the hometown, I'm going to say Clippers over Lakers, but we'll see. I don't know about the finals, though.
They don't call it the Wild West for nothing. So that's all we have for sports. We'll send it back to news.
Thanks, guys. Coming up, a Starbucks hearing that has nothing to do with their new olive oil-infused drinks.
Lávate las manos por 20 segundos como Elmo.
Hay algo especial acerca de este lugar. Se siente como un hogar, una sala debajo del cielo y los árboles. Rodeado de aire fresco y la naturaleza. Todo aquí para que lo disfrutemos y para que lo cuidemos. Tenemos la responsabilidad de cuidar de esta tierra que llamamos casa, de preservarla para las generaciones que vienen. Cada acción pequeña contribuye para un cambio mayor y cada uno de nosotros podemos hacer la diferencia. Hay algo especial acerca de este bosque. Es un lugar donde se hacen recuerdos y juntos podemos preservarla y protegerla.
Starbucks ex-CEO Howard Schultz testified before the U.S. Senate today to answer questions about the company's alleged union-busting efforts. Senator Bernie Sanders led the hearing and grilled the businessman.
In this difficult time in our country, for people to stand up and fight for their rights, to try to destroy the spirit of thousands and thousands of people who are fighting for justice, that, to my mind, is unforgivable.
Schultz denies claims that Starbucks broke labor laws to prevent workers from unionizing. Several Starbucks managers and employees attended today's hearings. We spoke to students who expressed their support for the workers.
It's very unfair for the workers because they work really hard every day and most of them are like 24/7. Obviously, I used to be a Starbucks lover, I still am, but after knowing this, I probably have a different opinion to Starbucks.
These people work really hard and I think it's really unfair for like the CEO to say something like that.
Employees at about 300 coffee shops nationwide are on board to join Starbucks Workers United.
Calling all music lovers, Ingrid is here to take us underground into USC's fully student-run radio station, KXSC Radio. Ingrid?
Thanks, Ethan. Radio is alive and well on USC's campus. Whether you're looking for concert reviews, sports broadcasts, or live music programming, KXSC has got you covered. The station is formerly known as KSCR, tracing its roots back to over 75 years ago. Now it's made up of over 70 student DJs, 30 staffers, and 60 interns. In addition to offering live programming for 18 hours straight on weekdays, the outlet hosts concerts and broadcasts a live show from the station every Friday.
Basically, every Friday afternoon we have an artist in studio, and they do a 30-minute live session and then a short interview. And it's really special to get to meet them and get to produce that show.
Like interacting with all the artists is really crazy because we have like some pretty cool artists like all the time.
You can tune in at kxsc.org/listen and maybe even hear me spinning some tunes as an on-air DJ on Thursdays.
Wow, I had no idea Ingrid was a DJ.
Yeah, well, be sure to check you out, Ingrid, whenever you're on air. What kind of music do you listen to, Rachel?
Oh gosh, I mean, I love me some pop, some country, a little bit of indie music, so I guess I'm going to have to listen to Ingrid pretty soon. But what about you, Ethan?
Kind of all over the place. Something in between canto pop, French rap, and Mongolian metal, but somewhere there.
Wow, okay, that is incredibly unique. You're going to have to share your playlist with me pretty soon.
Yeah, I'll be sure to.
Well, thanks so much for watching Annenberg TV News. From everyone at Annenberg Media, I'm Rachel Hallett.
And I'm Ethan Huang. For more coverage, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Annenberg Media. Good night.